Ladies and gentlemen, free agency starts tomorrow. Things are about to heat up. Things are about to get real quick for the NFL and for the New England Patriots. And a lot of big things have happened. We've seen a lot of massive contract extensions. We've seen franchise tags. We've seen teams already, even as of today, releasing players that have some big names. So the question is, what does this mean for the Patriots? We're going to break that down step by step. We're going to go through that as well. We're going to be talking about some other things along the lines of trades for the Patriots that, again, are still literally just, it's one of those things that just, it keeps following you and you're like, when are you going to leave? And if it's going to happen, heck, I guess if they're going to do it, just do it already. My goodness. But anyways, let's jump into it. So first and foremost, we know Ronnie Stanley has agreed to an extension with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we know John Harbaugh had said not too long ago that their goal was to get Stanley back, and obviously they did. It shouldn't be too hard getting a contract that is 3 years, $60 million. Have mercy. He's doing a good job protecting Lamar Jackson. There was a reason he was a coveted asset by many teams, including the Patriots. Now, as well, he's on a team that every year, I think people are like, "Hey, they could win the Super Bowl. They could win the Super Bowl." So I don't think anyone should necessarily be surprised. There was hopes that potentially he would get wooed away, maybe by the Patriots. But now the question becomes, with Ronnie Stanley out, who is in? Who is that next target for the New England Patriots? Now, I thought this was very helpful. It was a great, and honestly, I started writing this up, and then I found this article and I thought it was great. So the question becomes, it's really three different things, with the last thing probably being one of the dumbest things in my opinion. But first, it's next in line. So Cam Robinson from the Vikings, who was with the Jaguars not long ago, traded to the Vikings. He is honestly, when we look at free agency, that next man up. You do have Moore, you do have Wills, but Cam Robinson has the most experience. And when it comes to his ranking, essentially, he's the next guy in line. Now, what's crazy with him is he signed a contract with the Jaguars that was 3 years, $54 million. Then he was traded to the Vikings for some, fourth, fifth round picks, something in that area. I don't remember specifically. But anyways, wherever he gets signed, a lot of people are assuming that it's going to be around the same contract. So let's just say, that's going to be 17, 18, maybe 16 mil a year. So the question becomes, someone like Cam Robinson with the knee problems that he has, is that worth it? Again, that's for the New England Patriots organization, Elliott Wolf, Mike Vrabel, ultimately to decide. But according to many people, he is the next guy in line after Ronnie Stanley. So I don't think it would necessarily be a bad idea. Again, he is on the older end. I do like Wills and Moore just because they are younger, in their mid-20s. So I don't mind that idea at all. The only thing is, I still can't get it out of my head. A handful of episodes ago, Dan Moore was compared to a Corafor, and ever since then, it's like when you taste something that you absolutely don't like, but you can't get it out of your mouth. It's like that. So it's like, oh man. But again, if he can come in, he's in his mid-20s, younger guy, and he can contribute right away and be a massive upgrade from what we have right now, I think that'd be huge. So that's the first thing is, okay, who's next in line in free agency, and do the Patriots want to make a move? My guess would be yes. The next would be invest in the draft. So the first name that comes to mind is Will Campbell. We all know that. Again, we talked about yesterday, his arms came up shorter at the combine. So it is very possible that he is moved to guard, where he would be a unbelievable guard. Again, you don't see in the common draft area guards taken that high. But again, that doesn't mean he couldn't be a tackle. You also have Kelvin Banks and Membu, which is a guy from Missouri. Now, notice there's a trend. They're all SEC guys. Membu has come up the list as of the combine, so he's been climbing that list as it comes to draft. Again, I think if the Patriots end up taking a tackle, the best case scenario for them is they trade out of the fourth spot if they don't have a chance to get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, even though I love Mason Graham. I like the idea of Will Campbell, but if you can trade back and potentially still get Will Campbell or Banks or Membu, I think it is worth it. So that's another thing. Invest in the draft. And last but not least is fix everything else. Now, there's good aspects about this. There's bad. We cannot stick with the tackles we have right now. That would be bad. Low, no, not good. Mike Onwenu is a guard. We don't want to move him back to tackle. Jacobs, not worth moving to or having start. Again, he was a guy who was on a practice squad. So I know I have no issue with them going out for Will Fries is one big guy. Jenkins as well. Jenkins is a guard for the Bears. Fries is a guard for the Colts. Two younger guys that, again, Fries' contract is probably going to be around 14 to 16 million. They predict that he is asking for. I have no issue with solidifying the guards more. No issue with that. But again, we have to get, we cannot have the same tackles. That is common sense. That is common sense. Even if Caden Wallace comes in and he ends up being, turning around even more this year and he can stay, healthy, we still need to bring some other guys in. But I highly doubt that Caden Wallace is going to come in and be the hero that we expected at offensive tackle. He could be. He could surprise us. But again, we can't stick with Lowe. We can't stick with Jacobs. We need to look to free agency or the draft. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. So comment below. Tell me what direction you want to see the Patriots go. Is that go after Robinson pretty hard? Is that draft Campbell or Banks or Membu? Is that what direction do you want to see the Patriots take? So comment below. Now, again, as we look in free agency, we see it's almost like, I don't want to say a graveyard, but like you look at people that like, oh man, Trey Smith would be awesome. Boom. Nope. Franchise tag. Ronnie Stanley. Nope. He got an extension. T. Higgins. Boom. Franchise tag. And so you go down the list and then you see Cam Robinson down there, 29 years old. Alaric Jackson, again, that was another hopeful. He ended up signing again with the Rams. Great contract for him. But then you just continue down the list. There, 25 is Jenkins. I guess he is 27. I misspoke when I said mid-20s. But then you continue down that list, and where was my boy? Will Fries. There's Will Fries. I do like that. I wouldn't mind Will Fries because, again, guard is one position where, man, we switched out guards so much this past year. I mean, tackles in a way too. That whole offensive line was literally like a hockey team. It was like they were switching lines left and right. It was insane. But again, what direction do you want to see the Patriots go when it comes to that? Now, next up, some other big news, Myles Garrett, and you might be thinking, how does this pertain to the Patriots, these next couple points? Hear me out. So Myles Garrett has made a contract extension with the Browns. It is a guaranteed $23.5 million. An average per year is going to be $40 million. Have mercy. Now, what this means for the Patriots is, there was a lot of Super Bowl contenders that were coveting Myles Garrett, and now that just means it's going to be, we talked earlier this week about landing an edge rusher for the Patriots, which is needed to help Keion White, to help in the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. And looking at Myles Garrett being picked up, that just means that there's going to be less edge rushers. It's going to be more competitive. That's the term. Now, Trey Hendrickson is still out there, potentially being able to be traded for, so we'll see. But as well as Myles Garrett, Von Miller was also released by the Bills. That frees up $8.4 million in cap space. The big question is, he's 36 years old. Does a team like the Patriots want to take a chance on Von Miller? Again, there's been rumors that he could reunite with the Broncos. Who knows? Again, it's going to be on a very cheap contract. But again, let me reiterate, 36 years old, and some people don't want to deal with all the field issues that he has had in the past. So again, if the Buffalo Bills, who literally, and it's possible that maybe somehow, some way he resigns with the Bills. I doubt it if they're dropping him. Maybe they think they can get him for much cheaper. That's possibly true. I think a team will take a chance on him, but I think that he wants to, if he's still in the league, Yes, obviously he wants to make money, but he wants to compete for a Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see where Von Miller lands. Again, that's adding to that edge rusher. That's adding. There we go. Adding to that field. But hopefully the Patriots will land, and I think they will. I'm still confident they will land a solid edge rusher. Now, I want to jump in this just because we've been talking betting favorites. This is DraftKings. I just want to jump into a few players. Devontae Adams, Patriots aren't even close to their, plus 1,400. Again, the Packers, plus 250, no surprise. Now, this is an interesting one. DK Metcalf, and this is the one I really want to bring up just because his name has been connected to the Patriots a ton, is plus 350. Most likely he will sign back with the Seahawks. That makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way he ends up possibly on the Raiders. But again, do the Raiders really need to trade for a wide receiver? I don't necessarily think so, or someone as DK Metcalf's caliber, but the Patriots definitely do. Now, apparently, according to sources, the Seahawks asking price for DK Metcalf has lowered. They want something centered around a second-round pick for the two-time Pro Bowler. And then remember we talked about plan A, plan B. Plan A is do what's best for the Seahawks and the organization. Plan B is also, being able to help the player out. Well, apparently he wants to play in a warm climate and he wants to make $30 million per year. The first comment on here killed me. And this guy, it says, I would also like to be in warm weather climate and willing to go for less than $30 million. Golly, man, oh man, just crazy. You throwing those numbers around and saying stuff like that is just crazy. But again, so if it's in the Patriots, if it's in the Patriots' best interest to give up that early second round pick, and then probably, according to this, something else. Again, that early second round pick, let's be real. This offensive tackle class in this draft isn't crazy top heavy, but there's a lot of consistency throughout, especially in the first two rounds. So the Patriots could still get a solid like Cornerly from Oregon. We've talked about that name, offensive tackle, a solid offensive tackle in the second round, or a solid edge rusher. There's a lot of solid edge rushers in this draft the Patriots could get in the second round. Again, DK Metcalf, I don't know. They need a weapon. They need, as I've said before, they need to arm Drake May. But is this in the best interest of the Patriots? I don't know. I don't believe so. If you were to ask me, I don't think it is, because then the question becomes, are you going to be able to keep DK Metcalf? Is it a rental? What's going on? What's it going to look like? So comment below. Tell me what you think. Is it worth a second round for DK and something else? Again, what else is it? Is that Kendrick Bourne? Is that Pop? Who is that? I don't know. You let me know. So comment below. Tell me what you think. What should the path be for offensive tackle? Go in free agency, draft, whatever. What do you think the good blueprint should be heading into free agency tomorrow? Don't forget as well. DK Metcalf, what's your thoughts? Things going around the league. I don't care. Just say hello in the comments. You can do whatever you want. We'll talk later. My name's Aaron. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Peace.